Hi, this is Rex. Can you believe it's episode 18 of Petonk Points podcast? No other podcast on Petonk has ever made this many episodes that I know of. Lots of interesting stuff today. Be prepared to be enlightened and enthralled at a couple of new equipment innovations in the world of Petonk. Learn strategy from Boule advantage and what to do with the forgotten Boule. What in fact is the Swiss system? Hear about the Clayton's coaching clinic in Thailand from Australia's only professional Petonk player. Learn why it should be Saint Maldon Petonk Club. What is the Ulysses care band and where to get one? And there is a report of sorts from Northern Antarctica and much more. So sit back, relax and soak it all in. New innovations in Petonk. But the Petonk Lumino, or self-illuminated Coche. What a fantastic find this is. Although for my club, a couple of years too late now that we have lights on the piece. Before that though, we used to play with the light of the mobile phones. This bright little self-illuminated Coche weighs only 13 grams. It has a diameter of 30 millimetres and it has a light-up time of 4 hours. It comes with a battery, which can be replaced, and is available online for just under €14. Check out cocheoled.com for purchasing details, as well as a video showing this thing in action. I await to hear from the umpires as to whether the competition is legal. The other major Petonk innovation has been released to great acclamation. Even Ian McNamara from the ABC's Australia All Over had a comment.
What a great thing, Rexy. Why did you do that?
Because of this recurring situation, Ian. How many times has the first throw of the Coche been challenged? Too short, too long. Then somebody steps it out, starting with long strides and finishing up with something akin to baby steps. Then a declaration is made that nobody really believes anyway. Rex's rod is the dispute resolution device that has been designed to quickly and easily overcome the situation. Rex's rod is perfectly sized, smooth to the touch, always ready to perform and gives great satisfaction at almost no cost, so any club or group can afford it. First impressions are that it's just two lengths of electrical conduit glued together. Well, indeed it is. That's because it's weatherproof, durable, light, user-friendly, and is a single-person operation. The orange length is 4 metres and the attached grey length is 1 metre. Total 5 metres. Obviously then 2 full lengths gives 10 metres. 1 full length of the orange and grey, then slide the whole thing up 1 extra grey length gives you 6 metres. Simples. It's weatherproof and can live in any conditions. Of course you can use a 10-metre tape, but there's not always one available. If there is one, it's usually in someone's bag, off-piste somewhere, and it requires 2 people to operate. Check out the website of Camberwell Petonk Club for images. Total cost for me to make this was $6.75. I got the materials from a large hardware store nearby. I asked a few players of their experience in using Rex's rod.
It was a lifesaver. It allowed us to win the end.
It actually was very helpful and we used it twice.
Works very good. It takes out the division between the long strides and the short strides, marking out.
Yeah, it solved the arguments with steps. You know, your steps are short, your steps are long, so it was good.
Did you find it easy to use?
Well, we were careful not to knock anyone's eyes out or head off, but apart from that, it was quite simple. Lay it down, make a mark, move it along.
Would you be happy to recommend it?
I'd trust the manufacturing company. I certainly would. It comes with a written guarantee.
I would, yes, and I think it's getting more and more use as we progress.
I think it could be a marketing opportunity for Rexy.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Save the arguments.
Why don't you try Rex's rod next time you want to play a round? You'll be surprised at the satisfaction it brings.
Well, I love it.
Contrary to what you may have heard, there are no patents pending, and I encourage all players to have a go at making at least one. The Boule advantage, an important pétanque concept. This was posted on December 21, 2021 from All About Pétanque. To understand pétanque at the strategic level, you need to understand the concept of the Boule advantage. The basic idea is simple. The team with the most unplayed boules has the Boule advantage. If your team has 2 unplayed boules and my team has 4, then my team has the Boule advantage. Digging a bit deeper, it is possible to provide a precise definition of the Boule advantage. If a team gains the point every time it throws, we will say that the team plays perfectly. Note that it doesn't make any difference how the team gains the point. They can outpoint the opposition or shoot away an opposition boule that is holding the point or shoot the jack. The important thing is that they never require more than 1 throw to gain the point. At any point during the end, a team has the Boule advantage if, assuming that it plays perfectly from that point forward, that team will play the last boule in the end. At the start of an end, the second team to play always has a Boule advantage. You can often see this in World Championship games. Team A points the first boule, Team B shoots it with their own first boule. Team A points the next boule and Team B shoots it with their next boule. Point shoot, point shoot. The teams alternate gaining the point until Team A points their last boule. This leaves Team B to play the last boule of the end. They shoot or point with their last boule and often win the end. In short, if you think of an end as a conversation, then the team with the Boule advantage is the team that gets to have the last word in the conversation. Among world-class players, the point shoot pattern is so predictable that often the best way to follow the game is to watch for cases in which a team fails to play perfectly and requires 2 or more throws to gain the point. The real drama in World Championship game is in the shot that just barely misses and the pointing throw that doesn't quite gain the point. Such failures turn over the Boule advantage to the opposing team. At this level of play, losing the Boule advantage can mean losing the end. To point or to shoot, some strategic considerations. Suppose your team has 2 pointers and 1 shooter. The opponents throw the jack and point a very nice first boule. It is close to the jack and is going to be very hard to outpoint. What do you do? Should you ask your shooter to try to shoot it? But it is very early in the end and the opposing team still has 5 boules. Should you point and save your shooter for an emergency? This is pétanque's classic question, to point or to shoot. If you decide to point, you may end up with another classic situation. Your team ends up throwing all of its boules, trying to outpoint the opponent's opening boule. After you've done it, you realise that you've lost the Boule advantage big time. The opposing team still has 5 boules that it can play without fear of any response from your team, and you realise in retrospect that you should have used your shooter to try and shoot that opening boule. If this happens to you, here's how you should think about the situation. Your team started with the Boule advantage. You might have kept the Boule advantage if you had brought out your shooter and shot the opposing team's opening boule. Even if it took your shooter more than 1 attempt, it would have been worth it to get rid of that dangerous opening boule. In deciding not to shoot, you not only lost the advantage, you gave the advantage to your opponents to the tune of 5 boules. With a Boule advantage that big, they are almost certainly going to score several points and win the end. The moral to this story is that one of the highest priorities should be not to lose the Boule advantage, and that can sometimes mean using your shooter very early in the end. The forgotten boule and the Boule advantage. Suppose that there are a lot of boules on the ground. Your team has the point, so you ask the opponents if they have any unplayed boules. They look around and then say, no, we're out. So you play your last boule. As you're walking to the head to count the points, one of the opposing players says, oops, I made a mistake. I still have 1 boule left. What should you do? You can say it was an honest mistake. Go ahead, play your last boule. But giving away your team's Boule advantage in this way would be a big mistake. With this last forgotten boule, your opponents can do all sorts of mischief and win the end. So a good general rule is that a forgotten boule, even in friendly play, cannot be played. Actually, see our episode number 13, Tertius Decimus, of Pétanque Points podcast for dealing with a forgotten boule. In recent weeks, a well-known Victorian player decided to take a trip to Thailand for a bit of petanque training. I was interested to know how it went.
Hi, Rex. Thanks for calling me. As you know, my name is Vince Müller, and I play for Camberwell Petanque Club. And I was a bit bored with the Melbourne weather, so I decided to go to a country with a better climate for a while. Luckily, I find a superb spot.
You don't go anywhere unless you can play petanque.
Correct.
You were a bit tired of Melbourne's weather. I can't understand that at all. So you decided to find some better weather and obviously somewhere you can play petanque. So did you go for a training clinic?
Yes, actually, I searched all over the place and found Phuket in Thailand. And I read a lot about the quality of the players there and people playing every day. And as we all know, Thai players are really strong on the world stage as well. So I thought, I should go to Phuket and have some beach life and petanque.
That seems to make a lot of sense to me, Vince.
Yeah, no, and it worked out quite well in the beginning. I did find a chap who does training up there, and his name is Klaus. He's actually ex-manager of the German national team in petanque for the last 20 years or something like that. So it's an old hand.
Yep. When you said Klaus, it didn't sound very Thai to me.
Yes, no. Klaus Eschbach, Baden-Württemberg. So I got in touch with him and sent him an email. Dear Klaus, I'm here in Melbourne and I'd like to play at petanque, and can you introduce me to some pubs up there so I can play? And he wrote me back and said, yes, welcome. I'll give you a tour through some clubs and then you can play up there. And I was happy with that. So booked my flight, my accommodation, went up there, arrived, and Klaus wasn't there.
So two things there, Vince. It wasn't a pre-organised training clinic that somebody had set up and you thought, I'll sign up for that and go over for it.
No.
You chased it up yourself. You did it through that contact, got it all organised, and you got over there and he wasn't there?
He wasn't there. No, he had an emergency in the family, and so he had to fly back to Germany. So I was up there for 3 weeks. I haven't seen him not once.
So what did you do? How did you get around that? I mean, I know you. Yeah. You can't go more than 23 hours without having a game of petanque. So you must have found an outlet somewhere.
Yes, yeah. It was difficult in the beginning. The first half day was difficult. No, then I thought, what can I do? So I went to a bar, had a few drinks, one or two.
I can understand this.
Yeah, and there I chatted to somebody, was actually an expat, a Swiss expat, so I could use my good old Swiss German, and we had a good yarn. And then he mentioned that there is a Swiss petanque club in the Rawai, which is just on the other side of the island.
That's amazing.
I was staying in Kata Beach, and he was living in the Rawai, and they were playing in the Rawai, which is just over the hill. The next day I went to the Swiss club, played there, and then one of the Swiss players knew another club, and he gave me some hints how to get there. I did find it, and played there as well. There was a French group, French expats, and one of the French expats gave me another address, and so I had a third group which was a bit mixed with Thai and French as well. So I had 3 different clubs to play my petanque.
How brilliant. What were these clubs like? Large membership? Do they have great facilities?
The facilities were pretty standard, I'd say. But there were always 16 to 25 people playing every day from 3 to 6. So I played every day from 3 to 6, and then afterwards we had a beer together.
That must have been heaven for you. Every day, petanque.
It was perfect. Mind you, in the morning I had a breakfast on the beach.
Lovely.
At one day, a nice little coffee right on the steps of the ocean.
Oh.
And then walked up and down the beach a bit, and then after an hour I was bored, so went back, got ready for my afternoon petanque, and I did actually hire one of those motorbikes, the little ones.
Yep.
And so I was flexible. So I just drove around all over the place with my little motorbike.
Oh, gosh. I thought I understood the weather at that time that you were over there wasn't particularly good. What was the minimum temperatures?
Look, officially it's the off-season and it's monsoon time. But in the tropics, monsoon can mean a downpour of half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or nothing at all. So it did rain a bit, but never longer than 2 hours a day. Never. And so the climate was very pleasant. Mind you, it did cool down in the nighttime. It cooled down to about 25, 26 degrees.
Oh, that must have been terrible to put up with. Oh, God, so cold.
Oh, I tell you. And during the day, it was always between 29, 30, 27. So it was just perfect.
Yeah, enough. I don't want to hear any more. I mean, here I am. I'm living in northern Antarctica like most of us here in Melbourne.
I was a bit surprised when I looked at the weather forecast sometimes, and it wasn't a great period of weather in Melbourne the last 2-3 weeks.
No, not a lot. Vince, did you take your own Boule with you, or did you hire or borrow things when you were there?
No, because I didn't know what the situation would be up there, so I, of course, traveled with my Boule. So I had to eliminate a few things because the Boules are, 3 of them, they are easily 2-3 kilograms, you know. No, I took them with me, and they were quite impressed that somebody rocks up with Boules in the luggage.
Were they impressed with the style of Boule that you had?
They liked it, yeah. They liked them, yeah, because they said, oh, they are pretty old ones. And I said, oh okay. I still like them.
So it sounds like it was a bit of a tough gig to do. Would you do it again?
Yeah. Any day. No, it was fantastic because I'm not really a beach person. I like water and hot sand, yes, but for an hour or two, and after that I want to do something. So for me it was a perfect combination, a bit of beach life, a bit of playing, and afterwards there was still time to have a coffee or a beer or two. So I enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. And one funny thing was all of them played only around up to 11 points.
Really?
So you have to be really careful, otherwise you're out in a sec more or less, because 11 points and you lose 2 or 3 or 4 in one man, and then off you go.
Well, that's interesting.
And the good thing is there were loose groups, but they played every day. So I didn't have to join as a member. So all I had to pay is 100 baht per afternoon.
Yep. And
that went into the kitty, and then the winner got part of it, and the loser lost the 100 baht. And 100 baht is about $4.
Yep.
So it was absolutely worthwhile to play for 4 hours for $4.
It sounds to me, Vince, like this is so good. You'd be the person to organise taking a group over and making this, do it 2-3 times a year. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I thought about it, but then I thought, I'd rather keep that for myself.
Excellent, Vince. I understand now why you're the international professional petanque player of Australia. So that's really good, Vince. Thank you very much for your time, Vince, and your insight to that. And you've now got me thinking it's about time we did a little bit of a trip over there.
I can recommend it. Mind you, I have to warn you as well a little bit, because the police over there, they do like Farangs or tourists to get a little fee on the side. Because when I sped around with my, a Honda, my little Honda, of course they stopped me. Mm-hmm. One day they stopped me and wanted to see my driver's permit. And I had the international driver's license, so I thought, that should be fine. But it wasn't for the motorbike. So he said, no, wrong. And then I said, And then then I said, okay, what do we do? And he said, fine. And I said, okay. And how much? And he said, 1,000 baht. which is about $40.
Yep.
And then I said, sir, I do have a problem. I don't have 1,000 baht with me. And then he looked at me and said, how much you have? and then I looked in my backpack and then searched for some money. And then I said, have 400 baht. And then he said, and then he looked a bit, And then I said, wait. I checked again. Have 500 baht. And then he was happy. And I was happy. And so I paid 500 baht and we both were happy.
So you kept the system going. Well done you, Vince. Excellent stuff. Really good, Vince. I'll let you go on that. Thank you very much for sharing your time and your experience with us. I really love that, Vince. You take care.
Okay. Have a good evening. Yeah?
Catch you down the track.
Bye-bye.
The Swiss system. In a round-robin tournament, each competing team plays every other team. Such a tournament format is simply not feasible for a competition in which there is a large number of competing teams. A Swiss system tournament is a round-robin style tournament that has been modified to make it usable with a large number of competitors. In a Swiss system tournament, instead of each competitor playing every other competitor, each competitor plays only other competitors that have won a similar number of games. The basic idea is winners play winners, losers play losers. After the first round, each team that won its first game plays another team that won its first game. Each team that lost plays another team that lost. After the second round, each team that has won 2 games plays another team that has won 2 games. Each team that has won 1 game plays another team that has won 1 game. Each team that has won no games plays another team that has won no games, and so on for successive rounds. Even if a team loses its first game, it is still possible for it to finish high in the final rankings if it wins all of its other games. A Swiss system tournament is played to a predetermined number of rounds. Not as many as a round-robin tournament, but at least as many as would be required by a single elimination tournament. After the last round, competitors or teams are ranked by their scores. Swiss system tournaments can result in ties. One option for producing a clear tournament winner is to use a supplementary tie-breaking system such as the Boule system. Another option is to use the Swiss system for an opening or elimination round of a tournament. The elimination round is used to produce a smaller group of competitors who go on to participate in a final single elimination round. One desirable feature of a Swiss system tournament is that, unlike a single or double elimination knockout format, all teams play the same number of games, and no team is eliminated before the end of the competition. The basic idea is simple, but, especially for large competitions, the processes for scoring and pairing up competitors can be complicated. Note, there are many variations of the Swiss system. In relation to an inter-club event, Maldon, that's Maldon, Maldon Pétanque Club, has popped up a few times recently on Facebook. Having never visited the club, I went searching to find out more about it. I caught up with club president Andrew Leckie. Good evening, Andrew. Rex from Pétanque Points Podcasts.
Hi, Rex.
Andrew, would you like to tell us where the Maldon Pétanque Club is?
Okay. It's actually, and we may be the only club in the country. We're in church grounds. We're on hallowed ground, Rex.
So you're a sacred club?
Well, yes, we are. In a sense, the St. Bridget's Church in town, in Maldon, gave us permission to use some of their land to set up our peak. We've been there since, I think it's about 2005 or 6, before my time anyway.
Oh, okay. So is that when the club started, or did the club start elsewhere and move to those grounds?
That's what happened. It did start elsewhere. It started up at an historic building in Maldon called the Penny School, and that was started in about 2003 by a dozen or 15 players, I think.
Right.
And a couple of years after that, there was a divergence of opinion.
Really? In a Pétanque club, there was a divergence of opinion? You weren't associated with the Bowls Club as well, were you?
No. There were a group that wanted to play more competitively, I suppose.
Yep.
More along PFA lines.
Yep.
And the other group wanted to continue to play with a Boule in one hand and a glass of wine in the other.
A sociable, sensible game. This I understand.
So there was a migration to St Bridget's Church.
Right.
So there was about 2005, 2006.
Were they the wine drinkers that went to the church?
No, that was the competitive lot.
Right.
So we have the sociable club. We've got 2 petanque clubs in Maldon.
Oh, have you? Right.
So it's probably more petanque players in Maldon than certainly any other small town in regional Victoria, if not country Victoria.
Right.
So there is the group, the sociable group that play at the old penny school.
Yep.
With a glass of wine in hand. And then on alternate Sundays, the competitive group, the PFA sanctioned group, play their games up at St Bridget's.
So do we all get along, though?
Yes. There's a bit of toing and throwing. Some of the players go to and play the sociable games.
Yep.
And then play the next week on the competitive game.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic, and that's what I would expect. Petanqueistas are like that.
Yeah.
So your club, approximately how many members would you have, Andrew?
We have, Rex, about 30, 35, I think, at the moment.
Yep.
And we have a number of associate members, quite a few associate members.
Right.
From other clubs around the area who come to play with us. And we actually have an associate member who lives in New Zealand.
In New Zealand? How excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
He has family in Bendigo, I think it is.
Right.
And when he's over here, he always tries to get a game in.
Your club and the other one in Maldon, do you ever get to a situation where you set up a team and play against each other as one club against the other?
No, that hasn't happened. We play against other clubs in the area, other PFA clubs.
Right.
Really, we don't play. Well, we do play one social group, which is the U3A group in Castlemaine, nearby Castlemaine. Right. And we have a competition with them twice a year.
Oh, okay.
For a trophy called the Rusty Boule.
Oh, the Rusty Boule. I've seen that somewhere. What time of the year do you usually play that one?
We play an autumn game and a spring game, I think it is, yeah.
All right. Now, the pronunciation police have been onto me before about things. You just said Castlemaine, which is what I would say. But don't you get shot if you're up there and say Castlemaine and they want you to say Castlemaine?
No. The locals say Castlemaine. I'm from Perth in Western Australia, and I've still got my old Perth accent, so I can't help myself.
So that's forgivable. Do you have friendlies against a club called Smythesdale? Because I've heard there's some really doubtful characters in that club.
You're not wrong. Yes, we do. Next games we will be playing against Smythesdale Club for the Golden Boule, which is a 4-club competition over the winter.
Right.
With us, Smythesdale, the Mount Macedon Club,
yep,
and Wood End Hanging Rock. So we've had the first of those games Saturday a week ago against Ballarat. Sorry, Ballarat is the other one.
Yep.
I don't know if you've been to Ballarat. Have you seen that?
I know Ballarat. Ballarat's got its own climate. Everybody knows Ballarat.
Oh, well, yeah.
I haven't been to the Ballarat club, though. I haven't played at Ballarat.
Well, they're fairly new. They're a fairly new club. They turned on the weather for us. It was an absolutely beautiful day.
In Ballarat?
Saturday.
We're talking about Ballarat here.
In Ballarat. We are talking about Ballarat.
Right.
Remarkable. And they've got, I think, 20 pieces there.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Oh, it's really beautifully set up. It is still a bowling club.
Right.
There were the greens for the men on one side and the greens for the women on the other. And the women's group faded away, so the men still bowl on one side of the area, but the rest of it is been turned into petanque. And it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, very good move. What was the outcome of that leg of the competition?
It was a tight one. Maldon won it.
Fantastic.
7 games to 5.
Right.
And just by 2 points, I think it was, 16 to 14. So it was very tight.
Now, you mentioned they had 20-odd pieces. What about your club? How many pieces do you have?
We've got 12 now. When I got there were 7 pieces, was the tennis court that the church used to have a team play for. We resurfaced that for Petanque, and it made 7 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always keen to have a competition. So with the help of our local community bank, our Bendigo Bank,
right,
who've been fantastic to us over the years,
yep,
we were able to finance building another 5 pieces. So now we've got 12.
That's fantastic. The fact that you got the support like that, the local support.
Yeah, they've stumped up thousands over the years for us. Anyway, with our 12 piece in April, we had our very first PFA-sanctioned tournament,
right,
which was a mixed triples, and we had players come from all over the place.
Yep.
Melbourne, around the country.
Yep.
No, around the state, I mean.
Right.
So we had 72 players on our
Fantastic.
pitch, which was a thrill. It was wonderful to see.
That's fantastic, Andrew. That's really brilliant.
Yeah, and $1,000 prize money altogether. It pulled them from all over the place.
I bet. And what about wine? I hope there was wine in the prizes as well.
There was a lot of wine. We've got some great sponsors at Grange Hill Vineyard, a local vineyard that put out Chaperon wine. And they're always very, very generous too, and it is a very good wine.
So, look, it sounds to me like you've really got it together.
Yeah, it is growing. We are getting more members, and I think we've actually overtaken the local bowls club now. So I think there are more Petanque players than bowls players. Some pretty keen players and some very good players.
Yep.
There's a couple of competition animals in there that go and play as many tournaments as they can.
Yep.
But we're very strong on inter-club competition. We really enjoy that.
It sounds like things are going really, really well for you there, Andrew.
Yes, they are. I was also going to say, Rex, that when we built our new 5-piece, which they've been there a couple of years now,
yep,
we got our local priest to come and bless them.
Oh, excellent. Did he do that with sacrificial wine?
No, he didn't throw anything around, but Father Wahid, he gave them a thorough blessing.
That's really, really good. Anything coming up special that you guys are doing in the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, we'll be finishing off our Golden Boule over the next, we're playing in July, and then the last game's in August.
Yep.
Nothing particular. We're planning already for our next year's mixed triples again, the big tournament.
Right.
Otherwise, no, we're just rolling along nicely.
And speaking of playing, what days do you play?
We play on alternate Sundays. We will be there again, not this Sunday, but the following one, and then every fortnight after that. Well, there is a bit of a push from the competition animals to play weekly.
Right.
Now, one other thing I was going to say, Rex, is that we have a Facebook page, and very occasionally I get an email from somebody saying, I'm trying to find St. Bridget's, but I can't seem to find it on my GPS.
Right.
And these inquiries have come from Maldon in Essex, in England.
Oh, my goodness. No wonder they have a bit of difficulty. They could plug Siri in and she could give directions. It might take them a little while. What a great way to finish this conversation, Andrew. That has been fantastic. We've learnt so much about the Maldon Petanque Club. We wish you well, and I would like to come up and play there at some stage.
Oh, it'll be good to see you.
Andrew, thank you very much for your time today, and thank you for being so open with all the information you've given us. Petanque Points podcast, really appreciate it. More than that, our listener appreciates everything you've put into this podcast, so thank you very much.
Pleasure, Rick. Thank you.
Andrew also wanted to mention Boule's Australia as one of their generous sponsors. Just a note on sponsorship and Petanque Points podcast. The show is completely independent and has no affiliation with any Petanque authority, club, political party or commercial interest. Designed to present anything positive about Petanque generally, reports, reviews, interviews and anything entertaining in the world of Petanque. Petanque Points podcast is therefore willing to recognise an organisation that supports the development of Petanque in a positive way. Petanque Points podcast does not receive any commissions in any form and does not have any paid advertising attached to this show. Bayside. As a regular listener to Patong Points podcast, you will be acquainted with the semi-regular reports we receive from Radio Robin. That is Robin Dando of Bayside Patong in Tasmania. I had asked if she had a report for this current podcast and got this reply, which I thought was as good as a report anyway and worth broadcasting. I'd like to do it in a different voice, but I'm sorry, Robin, it's me. And what she said was, "Hello, Rex. All has been quiet at Bayside with a change of government, Baysides, not ScoMo's, coupled with some absolutely bitter weather. Many sessions and competitions have been cancelled, with Antarctic storms pounding up the river, unleashing their fury right over the piste. The swell was so great, the beach, which normally raises barely a ripple, had waves almost 2 metres high, to the delight of city surfers. The seawall was breached with every wave, all this just metres from where we play. So no current stories for you. We'll be absent with leave for the next 10 weeks as our Philadelphia family is arriving on Monday, hooray, and are spending all of the kids' school holidays here. A few days getting over jet lag and then we're off travelling wherever the wind takes us. So many apologies, Rex, but as Arnie says, I'll be back. Stay warm and safe, Robin and the old bloke." Ulysses Care Bands. Kim Badcock from Mission Beach Patong Club makes Ulysses Care Bands. It started when Kim had a go at splicing a wristband from the paracord he got when getting involved with sailing. A neighbour recently died, so he decided to wear the wristband in their memory. The Mission Beach Patong Club over the last few years has organised charity fundraisers. They were discussing which charity to support this year. Supporting Beyond Blue came to mind again following the loss of a local person to mental illness. They decided against a local public fundraiser for Beyond Blue while feelings in the community were still so raw. Kim decided to do something by himself and in a much smaller scale. Thinking maybe he could make some wristbands out of blue paracord to sell to raise money for Beyond Blue. Sal asked, why not make pink wristbands at the same time to sell and raise money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation, another charity that the Patong Club had supported. One thing led to another, with more and more causes being suggested, and he will end up making wristbands in support for more than a dozen nationally registered charities. Charities supported in chosen suggested order: Soldier On, Beyond Blue, National Breast Cancer Foundation, Cancer Council Australia, Pankind, Pancreatic Cancer, Men of League, Rugby League, ANTAR, Transcend Australia, Red Nose Australia, Orange Sky, Support Act, and soon also Bush Heritage Australia and MND Australia. Why Ulysses? Mission Beach is the home of the vibrant Ulysses butterfly. The Ulysses butterfly is also the Mission Beach Patong Club logo. Butterflies are gentle, blithe spirits, which makes it easy to connect with caring. So you can see why I keep saying Patong people are nice people. For more information and purchasing, go to Facebook page Ulysses Care Bands or Kim Badcock at kimbo@salbadcock.com or Mission Beach Patong Club. A builder walks into a timber yard and asks for some 2x4s. The yardman asks, "How long do you need them?" The builder answers, "A long time. We're going to build a house." Thank you for tuning into Patong Points Podcast. Be illuminated by your Coche. Get Rex's rod to sort it out. Swiss don't just make chocolate. Be advantageous with your Boule. Visit Maldon in Australia. Check out Ulysses Care Bands. Listen in next time and we may have Rex out.
You're a good man, Rex. Sick of Rex. Sick of
sick of Rex.